There we are, and we're rolling.
And we're rolling.
Welcome to the first, and hopefully not the only,
Not the only.
Sport Talk podcast. Is that right? Is that the right way around?
Sports Talk.
Sports Talk, there we
Sports
are.
Talk, not Talk Sport.
The person who didn't make the brand or the name or anything,
Or the logo.
or is just here for his input, knows the name better than the person who did. So,
Who made it.
great start, that is. Welcome to, obviously, a sports podcast.
Sports Talk, you would imply it because of the name.
Obviously. I mean, hopefully they're not idiots watching. Well, we know some of you are. We know some people we're close to, we know you are. But
Don't disrespect them already, don't.
Tolly.
Let's not shout at him. That's a good point. We were supposed to have a little guest for our first episode, but he's managed to bunk out the first episode.
He's got out of it, and we don't know how. Well, we do.
We do.
We do. We just
So-
we keep it hush. No, we don't want to embarrass the lad.
Oh yeah, alright, fine.
I'm making it out like it's a big deal. It's really not.
certain COVID restrictions at the moment, but this is all going ahead safely. We are currently in a very cold motorhome.
First world problems. First world problems. You know, the most upper class sentence that will probably ever be said. Yeah, we're in a motorhome with all the blinds shut, decent lighting. So hopefully the camera quality is not too shabby as
You've
well.
done well. You've done well considering the set. We did have.
I didn't buy it. It's not my
You didn't
motorhome.
know, it's
not my.
definitely-
It's not my. I didn't put a penny towards
You
it.
haven't got the funds already.
It's Daddy's money. Daddy's cash. Daddy's cash.
But yeah, we did have we had a very nice indoor set actually in your house.
We did. But COVID's forced us out here in the cold, and we're nearly in 2021 as well. This is hopefully going out on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve?
No,
No,
New
not
Year's
Christmas
Eve.
Eve. Yeah,
Oh
well,
God, mate, I'm having a stink already. You know.
Or do you want to just do you want to wait it out and then release it on the first of the
Okay.
new year?
This might be going out on New Year's Eve, 1st of Jan, 2nd of Jan, or 3rd of Jan.
This might be the first podcast that they're listening to in
It might be.
2021.
I was going to say first of our podcasts that they're going to be listening to.
Yeah.
Because we haven't done one.
We are making more.
To be fair, I was about to say welcome back, but, well, we haven't had one yet, so you're
are
not
here.
back. You're here for the first time, and probably your last with the way this is
No,
going so
no,
far.
don't say that.
No, it probably is.
Don't say that.
Should we just get into sport? Because we're going to spend all this time waffling, and that's Joe Weller's podcast. So, let's get into it. Right, the brand was... I initially made an Instagram page. That's how this started, on Formula One. Because
Formula
that
One.
is my passion.
I'm kidding.
Lovely. So we've got sipping noises down the mic with your cup of tea, and also now snorting noises. Brilliant.
ASMR.
Lovely.
Stop.
That's really going to creep him out. That's really going to
Oh
creep him out.
dear, man.
But so, where were we? We were F1, right? Formula One.
You
I started. It's going to cringe me out saying it. The Formula One vibe. Ooh.
The Formula One vibe was the page you made in secret without anyone knowing. Gained quite a lot of traction.
It did.
To be fair,
It did.
more followers than your personal account.
Yeah,
Sorry
but
to slip that one
that's
in
not
there.
hard.
No, fair.
People don't like
Don't follow
that.
you, bro.
No,
Don't follow
not even you follow me. I swear I went through your following the other day and you weren't following me. But
You weren't supposed to know that.
yeah, so we started the Formula One page. It got decent traction. We're getting 500 followers, and then I stopped it because I'm lazy.
And I came about.
And Ben came about, and I mentioned the podcast to him, and he went, "Let's do it." And then he was the genius that went, "Well, let's use your 500 followers."
Well, we're not using the followers because hopefully they're not going to unfollow.
No,
So.
well, with the content that's going out,
We'll see.
the content that's going out. Anyway, right, we are getting sidetracked. Let's just jump straight into Formula One. And Ben is not the biggest Formula One fan out there.
I'm not.
For those of you that know Ben, he's not, and he's rubbish on Formula One, the video game as well. So
Is that how we're going to start it?
that's how we know he's bad. But let's just get straight into it.
You had a post coming out. But you had a post that came out on your page with Formula One.
Did I?
Do you want to discuss
I?
that? Oh, on the Sports Talk.
Oh,
It's
I
not like you
did.
made it.
Yeah. What was that one?
Best drivers of the decade.
That's the one. I like that. To be fair, 7 drivers from the decades. We've got Juan Manuel Fangio. Do you know who that is?
No. The problem is about this, guys, is that I'm not going to know any drivers that aren't from the 1990s or 2010s.
No.
I know in that post there was Schumacher and there was Hamilton,
Lovely.
and that's all I know.
Well, it's nice that we've got him in for his sports knowledge.
Yeah.
To be fair to the lad, he is a very, well, I wouldn't say very good from the Xbox party.
A
but
genius.
He likes his football. He's good at his UFC and his combat sports. To be
Don't
fair.
make me out like I'm an actual fighter.
You're like Joe Rogan, mate. Yeah, you're the next Joe Rogan with hair. But no, that post came out, and best drivers of the decade. There was no arguments with it either, apart from Jake Lang, who is probably watching this.
Probably.
Jenson Button.
Jenson Button, great shout.
That's a great shout for the 2000s. I think he's a bit better than Schumacher.
Steals Hamilton's thunder.
He steals both of them. Button's the best of all time. He's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. No, let's just get straight into it. So, what we're going to discuss first is, what did you think of this season? You watched a few races.
I watched a few races. To be honest, I love the racing part of it, but I feel like Formula One is brought together by the atmosphere at the end of it. I know it's brilliant because people tune in for watching the races,
racing, yeah.
And obviously Hamilton,
Mr.
Sport, yeah, Mr. Sports Personality of the Year, came in clutch this year, didn't?
But what did you think of the season? Go on.
Lewis Hamilton is incredible.
He is the best sportsman this country's produced.
He's ridiculous. I would agree with that 100%.
But also, you're going to have those people out there, the Hamilton haters, who will be in the comments.
How can you be a Hamilton hater at this point?
Because he has got the best car.
Yeah, but how many world titles? 7? Was it? 7 world titles. That's ridiculous.
I know, but this is what people don't get. People like Ronnie O'Sullivan, who, to be fair,
Ronnie
dream
O'Sullivan.
podcast guest. he is insanely charismatic. He's a lovely guy, but he did say that it's unfair when he's got the best car, which kind of agree with him. But also, my point of view from an F1 fan is the drivers help to build the car. You help set it up. You help say, oh, we've got a bit of understeer here. Got a bit of
Sorry about that.
Hey up.
Little alarm.
Hey up. Someone's popular. But I think Lewis is the greatest of all time. I think that's
Out of
100%. And he's the best sportsman we've ever produced. And it's going to sound really, really cringy.
Idolising him already.
He's probably my ideal sportsman in terms of his performances. Personality.
Would you call him your sportsman hero? Would you call him your sporting hero?
On track, yes. I'd call him my sporting hero.
Really?
Yeah, he's perfect, isn't he? Do you ever watch him? Do you ever watch him and go, could have done that better? Could have done that better.
No, but I always watch him and hope he loses.
Whereas I watch Jordan Henderson and I go, oh, he could have done that better. He could have done that better.
I'll pass my driving test now, but I'm not going to immediately start driving an F1.
He's got that in there straight away.
I've already had a crash. No, I haven't.
Oh, but he is ultimate. I love how we start on something, we talk about it for about 5 seconds.
And we just move on.
And we just go personal. People who don't know
We don't need to know
People
personal.
who don't know us. No. So we've discussed the season. That's all you've summed it up with Lewis Hamilton because that's all you can.
Well, yeah. I also want to talk about your opinions because I personally haven't seen him come up. But George Russell, right? George Russell, Mercedes.
Another dream podcast guest.
Mercedes seems like a lovely guy.
He's so nice. He's just gorgeous. He's just a gorgeous man.
Do you think he's the future of Formula One? Yes or no?
The problem is, he would be the future. He's probably one of the best drivers that's up and coming, who's ever been up and coming in F1.
Yeah.
The way he's carrying that Williams team is unreal. That Williams is so slow. Latifi proved it. And he is just incredible. But the only problem is he's got competition. There's young guns at the moment. So you've got Max Verstappen, who he won his first Grand Prix with Red Bull in Spain. He won his first Grand Prix with a new team. He went from Toro Rosso to Red Bull and won straight away. He is exceptional. The problem I see with Max is he's very hot-headed.
Funny enough, I was just about to say that, and I know nothing.
But George would be F1's future, and I think that's very clear.
You think he's F1's future?
I think he would be.
Would be?
But the problem is, I'm a huge fan of us. We talked about Max Verstappen. I think Charles Leclerc is. I think out of the three of them, out of George, Charles, and Max, I think George is. I'd have to say George is probably the lowest on the list, but he's probably
out of Leclerc as well.
Oh mate,
but George was beating Leclerc as a child, as a kid.
Yeah,
bro.
but Charles is. I think he's got a lot to learn still. I think his Turkey race, which I don't know if you watched.
He's not learning much in a Ferrari.
He's not. He's not.
Not
you can never say that about a Ferrari.
Not
before.
at the moment.
That SF1000 is just disgusting. Like, I swear, I think my Corsa would give it a run for its money.
With the engine power.
Give it a run for its 600 million quid spent.
The 1.2.
The
1.2 rivals it.
Don't help me. I could have played that off as like a 1.4.
I'm driving an EcoFlex. I can't back, can I?
George would be the future of F1. It's undoubtable. But the problem is he is up against some serious competition in Max and Charles. And I think Charles is at the moment the best out of all of them. I think Max is the quickest, but George will be a Mercedes driver come 2022. I think that's guaranteed. That's accepted throughout the F1 community. He will be he will be a Mercedes driver. He's in their junior program. He's exceptional.
After his performance as well.
He is just, I don't know. And that performance in Sakir, right? Let's just talk. You watched Sakir.
I did. I was interested with George Russell. That's why I watched it.
I think that's why we all watched it. And then he's just. I know I've just said he's just about 500 times, but there's no other word. He's just amazing, right? He is incredible.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say with George is that
his feet are too big.
His feet are too big. He's too. No, but you look at it and you're like, Lando is like, what is he? Under 6 foot. I don't want to annoy Lando again.
Oh yeah.
During podcast.
Oh yeah.
Let's not talk about that. But just everyone is. If you want to come on, just come and sit in the motorhome with us.
Yeah, free pass. Literally anyone. Have a chat with us about sport. We're desperate at this point.
Yeah, because Tolly bailed on us. You'll meet Tolly hopefully in the next episode.
Hopefully we get Tolly.
He's a great guy, Tolly is.
Got a lot to chat about. Yeah, as well.
We'll just keep him off camera.
That's peak, man. Don't violate him on this one.
No, he's a lovely lad. I love Tol.
Can't get it personal in this podcast.
Can't get it personal. Where do we go? Right. Okay, so I think we've widely accepted that those 3 are the top 3 in F1 up and coming.
Yeah.
Lando, I feel like Lando's really good, but I don't think he's quite at those 3 level. I think before you'd assume that Lando was better because he's got a better car.
Even with his podium.
His podium, he's. I think Lando is again a great driver, but I think the three youngsters I'm looking at is Charles, Max, and George.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has Lando in that conversation.
The problem is because Charles is already at Ferrari until 2024. I think the contract is.
Yeah.
Same with Max at Red Bull. George is contracted to Mercedes, although he's at Williams. He's through their program, so he's contracted at Mercedes. Yeah. They're going to have they're the 3 front running cars, so they'll be competing. Lando's probably going to stay at McLaren, and I want him to because McLaren's my team.
I think he should.
Daniel Ricciardo's a really good driver who's coming next year. That's perfect. Lovely little segue. What? Let's talk about driver swaps. Do you know anything in the driver market this year?
Red Bull.
Red Bull
have signed. Tell me, please.
Sergio Perez.
Yeah, him.
Sergio Perez. Yeah.
He drives for Racing Point.
Well, yes.
I know that's the F1 game. But
there we go. He's learning on the job. he's learning on the job.
Oh, I've seen this on TikTok. I've seen this on TikTok. But do you think he deserves that seat?
What, Sergio?
Sergio Perez. You think he deserves the Red Bull seat?
He deserves the Red Bull seat by far. He is. I think his win showed it because I think George would have caught him if he didn't have his puncture. Yeah, there's some theories out there that think this is a hoax. I haven't watched them, to be fair. I don't want to get myself crying.
It's not a conspiracy theory.
It's not. When Bono says something, you know Bono's voice. Yeah. Get in there, Lewis. When Bono says something, it's true, and you believe him. You believe him
because it is Bono.
He's class, but I think that Lando and who are we on about? God, my brain is.
You want about
Perez? Perez deserves the race. That seat of Red Bull. Albon didn't perform. I like Albon. I think he's got. I think he's a good driver. I think he's talented. Didn't deserve it.
I think it was the argument over Albon and Perez. I think that I saw on TikTok that just wasn't. There was quite a lot of disagreement with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Perez deserves a chance at a top team, any top team. I think Red Bull suits him though because he's a consistent driver. He's one of the oldest on the grid. He's brilliant with his tyres. He's probably only second to Lewis with his tyres. That Turkey showed that. He managed those inters beautifully, those interslicks.
Would you say Lewis is good with his tyres?
Well, he doesn't sound like it, but he'll go, Bono, tyres are dead, and then he'll pop up fastest lap.
It's the Lewis Hamilton effect, that's what it is.
It's a bit like when Wodge disconnects on F1. Fastest lap by 11 seconds. Well done, Wodge.
Is that what we're moving on to?
No. We'll stay with this for now because that's really personal. But for those of them that don't know our friends, because we're referencing a lot to them. We'll talk about F1 for a bit longer. So I was also going to come on to. Actually, we had a question through. I put something on the Sport Talk.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
And somebody put, and I know her name, but let me
unlock my phone.
I know her name, but I want to give a different name, so you can name her.
I can name her.
You can name her.
I can name who? Who are we talking about?
You can name the person who asked the question.
I can't find it.
'Tis a girl because we love our female F1 fans. We love our female F1 fans. We don't think there's enough of you out there, but
What?
go on, name her. Name her. I know the question.
What
It's
is the
fine.
question? Because then I'll find.
Oh, so you need to find the perfect name from the question.
No, you'll tell me the question. And I'll
The
find.
question is, how do you think the 2022 regulations will affect Formula One? So give that a name.
Why have you put me on the spot? So it's not on the thing.
It's not on the thing. No, it's not on there. It's not on there. It's gone.
Anyway, right. Let's move on. Basically, the Instagram story post went, but you remember the question.
Yeah.
I don't want to give her the wrong name because that's just peak.
Okay, so we know who the person is, and she won't mind being outed.
Yeah.
Well, she will. So let's name.
Anyway,
Shaniqua. No. Don't go with Shaniqua. We'll go Mary. Mary.
Certain Mary.
Mary. She asked, how do you think 2022...
16-year-old Mary.
16-year-old Mary. It wasn't actually. 17.
Yes.
But she asked, how do you think the 2022 regulations that are coming in will affect...
Oh! You mean the comments?
No, it's not on the comments.
Oh,
No.
right.
No.
Okay, yeah, anyway.
This is a shambles.
We'll move on from this.
This is a shambles.
Okay, 2022.
So the regulations, because you won't know them. Right?
Tell me.
They're F1 cars at the moment, they're really hard to pass because they've got so much dirty air coming off the back. When you're following it, it reduces your downforce. So you can't really follow an F1 car. So to do that, they've basically adapted the car design so it makes it easier to follow, better racing.
Oh, fun that.
Yeah. So and also, I think the regulations that are coming in are the biggest that F1's had.
Really?
They've had regulation changes. So they had one from 2008 to 2009. They had obviously the hybrid era, which was 2013 to 14, and Mercedes have dominated the hybrid era.
Yeah.
This will be the biggest one, I think. I think it'll bring the teams closer because they'll also bring in spending caps in. So you can only have a certain amount of test days, certain amount of budget to spend on your car. It's gonna intertwine the field a lot more.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it because F1's not fair. It hasn't been for a long time. The racing's not been good enough. I think Abu Dhabi just showed that. Did you watch Abu Dhabi?
I watched a bit of it.
You see, a bit of it. That says, I think everyone did. No one watched the whole race. I had to go out and make at least 3 cup of teas, and as you can tell, I'm not very quick at drinking a cup of tea. I haven't touched it yet, but I had to go out and make 3, and it was...
I assume it was... I just got bored,
mate,
I can't lie.
Mate, my dad falls asleep at every Grand Prix, within 5 laps. I'm sorry, Dad, I'm out of you, but he falls asleep every Grand Prix within 5 laps, like most dads do, and wake up for the last 5 laps. It's actually quite special how they do it. But he saw the start, and I swear to God, they went through the first corner, and as soon as the last place passed through the first corner,
Turn off.
that was it. He didn't turn off. He was gone. He was in his chair.
Oh right.
That was it. And he didn't even wake up for the finish. That's how boring it was. Crofty on the comms was trying to hype everyone up. This is a chess match. It's gonna explode at the end.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It didn't. But Max was great.
So what you're saying is perfect time for Lewis to get out with these new regulations.
Exactly. That was a comment.
Take the crown and leave.
That was a comment. Somebody said Lewis Hamilton the best of all time on that post I've said about the drivers through the decades.
2020
and I said, do you think I responded, do you think he'll carry on after 2022?
No, he's retiring.
He shouldn't.
What do you mean you shouldn't?
Well, if he wants to prove he's the best, he should. Right? But I think he's proved enough. It's a great time for him to get out. He's been so dominant. The only reason he didn't win one championship with Mercedes was because of... Nico Rosberg was an underrated driver, in my opinion, but also he had a lot of reliability issues that year, which is something Mercedes have been brilliant on in the last few years. And
Except for Russell.
Don't! He's going to make me cry. I want to cry on camera. Don't cry on camera, man. Don't do that to me. It's actually got me sad. I was in such a mood then. I was giving it really on a roll.
Anyway.
No, fighting back the tears.
Yeah.
But I think Formula One, this is a Formula One based podcast. Well, it's sport, but
sports talk.
We've got talk in there, and in the Formula One talk.
Where the roots come from F1.
The roots come from F1, but we're going to discuss other sports, which we'll get onto in a minute. We've done a lot on F1, to be fair. We have done a lot.
Good chat, to be fair.
We're good chat on F1, and I think with more F1, you should start watching it. You need to do your research. No,
yeah, I'll definitely get more into it.
We've only got something like 70 days till the next Grand Prix. Get revising. The whole history of F1. I've got a book upstairs.
I'll read it.
You read it. I think F1's got a bright future. It's the start. The reason I say that is because of these regulations, because of the stars coming through.
Yeah.
Like we've mentioned, Charles, Max, George, Lando. I think it will be the best era throughout the 2000s. What do you call it? 20s, 10s, noughties, 10s, 20s. 20s. It'll be the best era. The 20s will be the best era.
Quick maths.
A-level maths. Bit sketchy. The reason that we're doing this podcast is actually because we're going to fail our A-levels.
No, we're not. Because my parents are going to watch this. I'm not failing my A-levels.
My parents won't watch this. I don't know what YouTube is.
Okay.
So I'm failing my A-levels. So this is why we're doing this. It's like a little escape.
Escapism.
Could be. We've got mocks in a few days. We could be upstairs revising. No.
Don't say this, because my parents are. Don't say this, man. What are you doing? What are you trying to sabotage?
Let's move on from Formula One.
What's all right? I've got two sports I want to talk about. I want to. What?
You do yours, and then we'll
what do you want to lead it to? Do you want to lead it to football, or do you want to lead it to fighting?
Let's go fighting.
Fighting?
Yeah. I've been getting into my UFC recently.
Okay, right. So I've got two. Right, I've got straight off the back. I'll ask you two fights, and I want your winner. What round?
I think I know what right. I think fights.
Well. All right. I've got three, and then I want an explanation for all of them, and then we'll cut this boxing talk off, or this fighting UFC talk off, and then we'll move on to different things. Well, yeah. Right. So if you're going to go into boxing, right, my first one, AJ versus Tyson Fury.
I wasn't. I thought
you weren't expecting that,
UFC.
were you?
I thought
no.
We'll
talk about fighting.
Tyson Fury is going to win that.
Biggest British fight of all time.
In terms of being both Brits, yes. I think when Lennox Tyson, like that was huge because everyone was fighting each other in that era. Whereas now Joshua has to fight Pula. Well, he doesn't have to, but he has mandatories for some reason. He's had more mandatories than most people.
Yes.
And I'm starting to think that's a bit fishy.
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest fight between two British guys, undoubtedly.
It's going to be an unbelievable fight.
I think you asked me what round and who's going to win. Tyson's going to win. That's widely accepted.
Yes.
And I'm happy to sit here and say that Tyson's going to win on camera on a podcast, and I don't feel like I've said that now.
You'll get slaughtered for this after.
Because I think we all know Tyson's better.
Tyson's the better technical boxer.
Tyson's a boxer. AJ's a phenomenal athlete.
Ridiculous.
Like you look at him and you just go,
you're a real mate.
Mate, if I was, he's an extremely good looking, charismatic guy, but the problem is for me, he's a bit too nice.
Bit too cookie.
Yeah.
Plain.
Bit too. He's a bit Lewis Hamilton. I'm sorry to bring it back to F1. He's a bit Lewis Hamilton.
I get what you mean.
Whereas Tyson Fury is a bit more off the wall. He's a bit more Max Verstappen.
Gypsy King.
He's a bit more.
Gypsy King.
Is that politically correct?
No. Well, that's what he goes by. That's
what he goes by.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he goes by. He is, and I think one of the things I look at with Tyson is he's not just an athlete. He's also a phenomenal. His story's incredible. We all know his story.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
His mental health story, and he's great for boxing, and he's great for men's mental health.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Two things that are
exactly.
exceptional.
Yeah, exactly.
Big parts of
everyone's life.
Yeah. He's an ambassador for both, but also he's not an ambassador in the sense that he feels like he's doing it for money. You know, he's not. He's an ambassador because he wants to be.
He wants to be.
He wants to help people. He would reach out to somebody. That's the kind of person he is.
Unbelievable.
And I'm going to be rooting for him. We can. If you're watching, if they're watching, we'd like some tickets. if we'd like some, but
so you're rooting for Tyson Fury?
I'm rooting for Tyson Fury.
I'm rooting for Tyson Fury, but I think it will be a closer fight than what everyone thinks it will be.
What? So are you thinking Tyson Fury's going to win? Because rooting for someone and winning.
Yes, because Joshua is prone to get chinned.
Yes.
Tyson Fury is the chin of. I know he gets dropped by Deontay Wilder, but Deontay Wilder is possibly the hardest puncher boxing has ever seen. So, but the fact that you can take Deontay Wilder's hardest shot in the 12th round when he's exhausted and he can't move and get up after that, Anthony Joshua's not doing that to him.
No, and we think we saw Joshua some fight in the Klitschko fight.
Yes,
I think that
brilliant fight.
I think when we all watched that, because everybody in the UK watched that, he must have made a mint because 20 quid from everyone. That's good going.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
He is that fight was incredible, and he got up really well from his knockdown, and he demolished. I would say demolished
a boxing legend. The
boxing legend in the 11th round. Yes, Klitschko's at the end of his tether. Really, he's coming to the end. He's retired now, and fair play to the lad. He was boring. I'm going to say that now.
Klitschko.
He was boring. Yeah. Oh, he
Good
jab.
fight, though.
Yeah, but he's a great fighter. But he jab and move. He's like what?
That was the problem.
It was the same as Floyd Mayweather, which is another fight we've got to talk about.
That was the problem with I'll move on to that. But
Yeah.
that was the problem with the Klitschko Tyson Fury fight, which I watched.
Yeah.
It went to the 12th round. It was not an entertaining match at all.
No.
Grand scheme, Tyson Fury won it, which was brilliant, but it just wasn't. It was just jab move. Tyson wasn't known to have that power yet.
Yeah.
I know he showed it with Deontay Wilder, but he just jabbed and moved. He outboxed him.
He outboxed him. But that's all you. Thing is with Klitschko, that's what you have to do. I think they took two different approaches. It was interesting because Fury took the approach of I'll outbox Klitschko, which is a very brave approach, which I think makes it more impressive of a victory than Anthony Joshua's. Joshua went in and said, "Who's got more bottle? Who's got more grit?"
Yeah.
Tyson will. I think Tyson's outboxing will favour him, but I also think Tyson showed his grit.
He's got more grit there.
He shows his grit in the Deontay Wilder fight when he got up in that 12th round after that knockdown, which was the best boxing moment in my life.
Oh yeah,
I'll happily say that.
100%, man.
I'll happily say that.
That was brilliant.
I was up at 4 a.m. and it was I can't. The thing is with sport, I know this is really going to sound really weird, but you can't put it into words, which is bad for a podcast.
No, yeah.
But it's really hard to sum up a feeling.
Yeah.
Because it when you're a big sports fan, it gives you a certain.
You
feeling.
watch that, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, that's unbelievable.
Amazing. So, we've done Joshua. We've done Joshua Fury. What was your other fight?
I was gonna say McGregor Poirier, but do you want to talk about that?
No, we're doing McGregor Poirier.
We'll talk about McGregor Poirier.
Yeah.
I want your opinions because to be fair, I know you're gonna say that. Oh, I know more than you, but you're very well. You're knowledgeable, very much so. With
I
UFC.
watched the fights.
You're very knowledgeable.
I'm only just starting to get into my UFC. To be fair, I'm not a Joe.
So that's good because I can hear it from someone who doesn't watch. I'm gonna sound like the biggest
No, because I sound like this in F1. So
I watch UFC cards every week. I watch them with my dad, and we absolutely love them.
It's the best. I think it's.
Overtaking boxing?
Yeah, no. I was gonna say it's on the road to overtaking boxing. Then I was like, it's overtaking boxing.
Yeah, it has.
It has because the stars from it are bigger. I think Connor's helped massively.
Connor's helped a massive amount.
Connor, without Connor, the UFC wouldn't be where it is.
But Connor has give that platform to other people. Khabib Nurmagomedov.
That tongue twister.
I've got my
Go
list.
again. Again.
No, I'm not going to do it again because I'll embarrass myself again. Khabib.
Take two.
Khabib's platform has been dramatically. I know he's 29-0, but Khabib's platform has skyrocketed since that Conor McGregor fight.
Anyone who goes in the ring with Conor McGregor is getting a huge payday.
Career's made.
Yeah, and that will be it.
Khabib took home about 50 million from that.
50? Was that what reported?
50 million. 50 million.
million.
The UFC don't pay a lot, but what they get outside of the UFC, because with the sponsorships and stuff like that, and the Reebok deal, Khabib made money. Like McGregor's making.
What are we doing sitting around making podcasts?
Exactly.
We should be fighting.
Right,
let's get the microphone.
I don't have the heart.
No, from my outside point of view, I think McGregor.
Is it on Poirier? Yeah.
McGregor Poirier. Problem is McGregor ring rust is a thing, and I think it's more of a thing in UFC.
Yeah, has to be.
Because there's more aspects to it.
Yeah,
with boxing, Floyd Mayweather, he will go in. I know this is a different fight. He will go in Logan Paul, and he'll fight like he's always fought because he's so natural. It's just one art. It's one art. With UFC, you've got your stand up, your
so
wrestling,
many aspects.
the jiu-jitsu of it is phenomenal.
Yeah. And
I think that you asked me Conor Poirier. I think Poirier wins. And
Do you?
Yeah, I'm a Conor fan as well. I know that I shouldn't be slating Conor because he'll always come back and prove it. But I think Poirier. I think the Khabib defeat to Poirier.
Yes.
Really, I think when we were watching him in that press conference afterwards, he was so downbeat and he was so disappointed because he knew that was his chance.
That was his chance.
I don't think he'll have to make the same mistake again. And it wasn't a mistake as such because Khabib is the best. He's the best in that division. What division?
Lightweight division.
Lightweight, yeah.
I thought you were going to say best of all time. I was like, well, that's a discussion, isn't it? But
no, it's not because that's another fight we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Give it time. Give it time.
So, Conor Poirier, I think Dustin wins, and Dustin is a good fighter. I think Conor's better, but I just think the ring rust will get Conor.
Yeah.
Just like that. It will, because we saw it a bit in the Khabib fight. He won that third round in the Khabib fight. I don't care what you say. He won that third.
But so did Conor. Conor won a round against Khabib.
No. Oh, I was talking Conor.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Conor won that third round.
We're talking about Poirier.
And that just shows how good he is, because Khabib doesn't lose rounds. He's John Jones.
He never lost a round before.
He doesn't lose rounds.
He did 26 fights without losing a round before that.
That's insane.
That's a joke.
That just shows the class.
Do the maths on that.
He's a different animal.
Oh,
so my conclusion with the Poirier fight, I think it goes the distance, but I think Poirier wins.
You think Poirier wins?
Yeah.
See, you've stolen my thunder.
It's hard to say a Conor fight goes the whole way though, because he either wins early or he loses late.
Loses late. See, you've stolen my thunder there, because I was going to come in with a shock. Like, I was going to
come
say
in with it.
Yeah, I was going to say it right. Poirier does it, and I think he does it round 3.
So I think he goes the distance. We never actually said the rounds of the AJ fight. The AJ Fury fight. What round do you think?
8.
What round do you think that Tyson just cleans out AJ? Because that is what's happening.
8 or 9.
8 or 9. I think it's earlier. I think
He tries to do a Deontay Wilder and just bag him out.
Well, I think more so, because I think it's different, because I think Joshua's a better boxer than Deontay Wilder is.
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder, like Joshua, is a phenomenal athlete, but I would say Joshua's fighting ability is greater than Deontay Wilder's.
Yeah.
Because, but the thing I think is that I think Fury goes at it with Joshua.
Yeah.
I think he goes out more aggressive the first fight. I think Fury was coming back. He had ring rust. What did he have? I think three warm up fights. Did he?
Yeah.
And then he jumped straight back in.
But he was awful in those warm up fights.
He was absolutely shocking.
Have you seen the documentary where he's got his cut? I was like, oh my days.
That put him out for a year or so, didn't it? Like just that one cut, he had like 30 stitches.
It was ridiculous that.
I think he was wary of Deontay's power, because it's evident.
Yeah.
I mean, Victor Ortiz, who he knocked out. Yeah. Ortiz was winning that fight. He's like a 50-year-old man, and he was winning that fight.
Yeah.
That shows Deontay's not a great boxer.
Yeah.
And he just cleaned him out. Just phenomenal. But he was very wary. Fury was very wary of Deontay's power.
That's gone cold now.
That's it. It's a shame we haven't got Kel in it. It's a shame.
Right, so we've discussed that round. I want to go back to my Poirier shout. Poirier in 3. Conor McGregor, brilliant. Knockout artist. One of my sporting heroes.
Yeah, I'd say he's one of mine.
Yeah.
I'd say he's one of mine.
He's everything about him. He's a superstar.
He's a personality,
but
that's what sport needs.
But the problem with him is that his fighting in the first 2 rounds is some of the best I've ever seen. His
striking is from angles that... The angles on his strikes...
You can't even explain.
He's the best striker the UFC's seen. He is.
Yeah.
If you look... But that, I think that's one of the reasons that is because he is a striker.
Yeah.
That's it. I think you look at John Jones, he is an all-round master, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's same with George, who is brilliant with his kicks. I think his kicks are a level above, probably the best kicker along with Anderson Silva, the UFC's ever seen. But I think striking wise, Conor's the best. He comes in at angles that no one else does.
No one reads.
No one can read him. Eddie Alvarez.
You see with that Eddie Alvarez fight?
That was the peak of Conor.
It was
I think that was the peak.
Of course it was.
Of
It was the best performance in a championship fight, probably in the UFC. I think maybe.
Do you think? All round, or just from a striking point of view? Because from a striking point of view,
he didn't need to grapple with him.
No, I think Eddie Alvarez was an amazing fighter.
He was a killer, and Conor dropped him 5 times that fight, 4 times.
It's that combination. It's that combination where he goes bang from one side, bang from the other, and then comes in at a different angle from the right hand side, different angle again from the left side, and it's just he's hitting him like
ridiculous,
he's silly.
Man, joke.
But
absolute joke.
I still think Poirier wins. I know it's bad.
Right, Conor McGregor. The thing is with McGregor, I'm going to get really technical here and like scientific, like A-level PE. Right. Ooh. Anyway.
That's another conversation.
Let's not mock me for that. Conor McGregor has the set of, it's what you call fast glycotic muscle fibres, where it's like you can exert so much power and so much force with your punch, but it can't last you a long time. So
yeah, because it's so hard to use. They're so rare.
Well, you've got so many oxygen
so much
as well.
energy in them. Yeah.
You naturally want, like Nate Diaz is a zombie, but he doesn't have. That's why he never really knocks anyone out.
I love Nate.
Because he doesn't have the muscle fibres that Conor McGregor does. McGregor has those 2 rounds of sheer force with his muscle fibres before they get tired, and then after with the 3, 4, and sometimes 5, he came back with the Nate Diaz fight. McGregor won rounds 1 and 2 and 5 with Nate. Nate won 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But with Poirier, I think if he withstands the force that McGregor's got, like he did with Dan Hooker, where he had round of the year, he got tagged so many times.
I'm just pretending I know what you're
Well,
about, yeah.
still, he got tagged so many times in that fight, and he was just on his feet. He just stayed up and fought a war with him.
Yeah.
I think if he can do that, McGregor gets so sloppy if he gets tired in rounds 3 and 4.
He's a perfectionist. Rounds 1 and 2.
And if Poirier can bring that fire.
It's the 8-minute mark. It is.
Yeah, literally.
It's the 8-minute mark. 8 minutes. Connor just goes from this. He's bouncing around. He just goes flat-footed.
Literally.
Because the best Connor, arguably, people will say is Jose Aldo. I don't think it is.
No,
I
absolutely
think that's mind games. That's
He's beat him before, didn't he?
That's the perfect fight that I look at, and I think that's the most mind game fight. Based from fight, if you know what I mean.
The UFC helped him out with that though.
Yeah.
Give him 2
world
tours.
Tour.
Give him 2 world tours.
Give him a world tour to steal his belt. What? What are they doing? Dana loves him.
Dana's off him, mate.
I think Khabib's right. He is Dana's boy.
Of course he is.
Dana.
I'm gonna smash your boy.
Don't do the impressions, please. Please. So we've done a bit of UFC. I want to talk about. I know it's a bit out there, and it's a bit like people will say, "Oh, he's just a YouTuber."
Oh, Logan Paul.
Logan Paul and Mayweather. How is he? How?
Joke.
Just how?
Joke.
How has he done that?
Joke. Absolute joke. And I think that it's so funny because I prefer UFC to boxing. I think this is where the boxing fans go, look at our sport. Yeah. Because they went absolutely furious about the Logan Paul KSI fight.
Well, they slagged off YouTube boxing from the get-go. And
yeah,
then Eddie Hearn went in. And Eddie Hearn lost some credibility by doing that in the boxing world.
He made some money, though.
He made a lot of money.
1.2 million buys it was.
Really?
It beat AJ's second fight with Ruiz.
I know, but that's the thing. Because these guys have had such a platform.
Joke, mate.
All these kids were watching who had number one. It's great for boxing, I think.
Oh yeah, some real.
They're not the best athletes. Don't get me wrong. I think Logan and Jake are great athletes. I think Logan's. I look at Logan. I'm like, okay, you're ripped, mate.
Well, Anthony Joshua.
He's the white Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I think Logan's got a bit more to him as well.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I don't want to get onto Jake Paul because I don't think he's.
No, he doesn't deserve.
I don't think he's worth the time.
Our time.
No, I don't think he's worth the time to even talk about.
That Dylan Dennis thing was funny.
Dylan Dennis.
It's Dylan Dennis though.
Yeah, but Dylan Dennis is like the Jake Paul of UFC. Everyone hates him.
I know. That's what makes it great.
Everyone hates him. Literally.
But we focus our attention on Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. Everyone's saying Logan Paul's got a chance. I know. Yeah, I know. People saying, "Oh, he's a bigger guy if he catches."
Stop it.
Yeah, if he catches. We said that about Canelo. Did Canelo catch? No.
Said about McGregor? No.
No, none of them. The best strikers.
McGregor hit one uppercut.
The best striker, yeah. Connor's the best striker. I know it's UFC and boxing different in terms of striking, but he's still a brilliant boxing striker.
Technical striking.
It's just phenomenal. Same with Canelo. They couldn't land a shot on him. So Logan Paul, no way.
Paul doesn't have a chance. He's been training boxing for 3 years, 2 years. Doesn't have a chance.
Does not have a chance. And
it's laughable.
It is, but it's laughable. But then you think, even if Floyd wins, I think Logan wins the heart.
Because he does. Because his profile's gone.
I mean, his profile's huge anyway. What's he got? Like 20 million subs. He's
20 plus.
He is the top don on YouTube.
Yeah,
I
top don.
He is. Because it was either him or KSI.
Yeah.
And then he signed this deal, and it is him, 100%.
Mate, just how he got a little YouTuber getting into your boxing world, fighting the best boxer of all time.
I know.
For some money. Your sport is in the ruins.
And how much is he going to make from it?
Too much. And it's doing a super exhibition. What does that mean?
I hope that Impulsive gets a bit of an upgrade to the studio. That's what I'm hoping from it. That's the amount of money I hope he makes.
Not in a motorhome.
We could do with it. Logan.
Not in a motorhome. But yeah, mate.
Yeah, we could do with a studio, to be fair. We should set up like what is it? Do you get super chats on YouTube?
We're not making them money
We're not.
to get a studio.
Are we done? We done with fighting now?
Yeah. If you want.
Because you said you want to talk about football. I want to take it to cricket because you said something in the UFC bit that reminds me of something that I've talked about in cricket.
Okay.
Both play cricket, not very good. Let's be honest, we're not very good.
Playing Dunstall 2, so I'm great.
Yeah, exactly. Dunstall 2s. If you're any good, you'd be in Dunstall 1s and beyond.
Top score was 20 this year. I'm great.
Top score was 20. oh.
Yeah, go on.
The only saving grace to that is you are a bowler. But you said something about Connor. You said he's got fast muscle twitch fibres. Is that what you said? Yeah.
Yes.
And it's the same in cricket when you look at... I know this is going to sound really nerdy, but fast bowling. You look at Pat Cummins, and he's got fast muscle twitch fibres in his body. That he's, 90 mile an hour?
And dropping sometimes more than that.
And then look at his technique, and it's like, you should be getting injured every game.
Look at Joffre's.
Joffre's is just phenomenal.
Joffre just stumbles up and he goes.
Joffre walks in. Joffre could do that in his sleep. I would be scared to be in the same room as Joffre if he was sleeping. I wouldn't be anyway. That'd be a bit weird. But if he got up in the middle of the night, got hold of an apple or something, and just did that in his sleep, it's going 90 mile an hour. He's got fast much.
That one. Fast glycotic muscle twitch fibre.
Fast glycotic muscle twitch fibres.
Yes.
There they are. I said that a bit ASMR then.
Stay away from
why is it always going to ASMR? Maybe it's our calling.
Stay away.
But I want to talk about cricket for a minute because we've got 3 test series on at the moment. I think we've got Sri Lanka, South Africa. I don't know if you've been watching that because that's a bit Faf du Plessis missed out on a double century by 1 run.
I've skimmed over it. I'm going to be honest with you.
And then we've got the New Zealand-Pakistan series where Pakistan keep making a joke of themselves.
Pakistan are funny. Unbelievable.
They've got brilliant. The thing is, they've got brilliant players.
No one doubts that. No one's
Babar
arguing.
Azam is probably one of the best batsmen in the world.
No one's arguing that Pakistan have got great players.
They've got Shaheen Afridi, amazing bowler. They've got Mohammed Abbas, who's a brilliant test bowler. I mean, he doubles it at 80 mile an hour and makes batsmen look silly. He's like a Jimmy Anderson without the swing. I think he moves off the pitch a bit. But just to discuss that test series, they've made a joke of themselves in the field again. Pakistan's thing's always been fielding. They're sloppy.
Yeah.
And they've made another joke of it. They keep fumbling things.
It's like Sunday. It's like not Sunday. It's like Saturday cricket, isn't it?
It is. It's worse than
grassroots.
Some of it is worse than Div 6 cricket, which I play, and that's bad. Like there's 50-year-old men there, who walk out without their gloves on, and then they go, "Oh, sorry."
Wear shin pads to field.
Yeah. One guy came out in keeping pads, wicket keeping pads to bat.
Oh dear.
Pakistan make a joke themselves, and New Zealand show their class again.
Sure.
Kane Williamson, I'm going to put him up there. With Steve Smith dropping in form, Virat Kohli hasn't had the best year. Labuschagne. He is Steve Smith now. He's Steve Smith.
Wait on.
He's Steve Smith 2.0, you know.
Yeah, it's quite.
Have you seen it?
It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. It is. But
wait on.
Getting a century is not embarrassing.
No, it's true.
It kind of, if it's working for you, I'll accept it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's viable.
Yeah.
I think Kane is. I was looking at it from a point of view where I was discussing. Actually, I've made a post on Instagram that's not released yet about cricket.
Exclusives.
About cricket. Yeah, I'm giving you a bit of exclusive content here.
Like that.
It's a top batsman in the world at the moment, and I put Joe Root in.
Joe Root.
And why did I put Joe Root in?
Because you shouldn't have.
Because I looked at the 4 of them. I looked at Kane Williamson, Virat Kohli, Steve Smith, and Joe Root as the 4 best in this era. And Joe Root's fallen short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go. Yeah, Joe Root should be in that argument.
No, Joe Root's fallen short. He might be one of England's greatest test batsmen.
We used to rely on him, and then he's just gone to.
Kevin Peterson's a better batsman than him.
Of course he is, man. Don't even mention
Kevin's
it.
class, though.
I love Joe Root, but don't even mention KP with Joe Root at the moment. Just don't like.
What's happened to Joe Root? Because I remember when he started his career, burst onto the scene at Lords. Him and Johnny Bairstow, as youngsters, carried that England side.
Yeah.
In 2014, when they had the. Do you remember they had like the Investec thing on? The Investec sponsor.
Yeah, I remember it.
Brilliant times. They carried England, and now Joe Root is relying on Jimmy Anderson, who's 39, relying on Stuart Broad, who's 36, 37, if I'm right.
And the best all-rounder
and the best all-rounder in the world. Who is phenomenal, but if you tire him out bowling, he's not going to be as good batting, and vice versa. You don't want to rely on him for everything. You could, because he's phenomenal.
It's just Freddie Pot too, isn't he?
He's Freddie better.
Ooh, yeah, true.
That's a debate for another time.
He's more committed
That's
than
another
Freddie.
debate. He is.
He's more committed than Freddie. But...
Freddie would go. I like Freddie.
Pedalo.
Top bloke. Dream podcast guest.
Pedalo though.
Pedalo incident was funny, man. That's funny. I don't know why he literally just pedaloed out to Ian Botham's boat. But anyway, Freddie Flintoff is a great player, phenomenal.
Brilliant.
But he
great personality as well. Absolute jokes.
Top personality. But the problem is, he liked a beer or two.
Loved a beer.
He liked to beer.
That's not
a beer
planned,
or two.
That wasn't planned.
That wasn't planned. That was off the cuff. You can tell. You can tell. You can tell. It wasn't very good. If that's what we plan, we need to get better planning.
We need to get better jokes, bro. We need to get funnier, man.
We do. We actually do. What can you expect? It's the first podcast.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So, New Zealand again showing themselves as great cricket team. Pakistan, not so, I'd say. But Australia and India, that's a fascinating test. Have you been following that or not?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah. No, I've been watching it.
Fun watch.
I've been watching it through the night. I'm not lying to you.
Have you?
Yeah, I've been proper
Right,
grafting it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that good.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it and I think Bumrah. When he came to England in that series when we had India, we went to the first Test match.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't playing,
Class.
but you went to the Trent Bridge Test match as well, and you saw Bumrah bowl, and
experience.
And it's you now start to bowl like him.
With half the pace, with half the miles per hour that he bowls. That's not a joke.
45-mile-an-hour dribblers.
That's not a joke.
Bumrah's just phenomenal. And he separated himself as the best bowler in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And I didn't think he was before. I would have said Mitchell Stark. He's been phenomenal for years. White ball, red ball, give him it, swings it.
Thrives more in white ball.
Yeah, Cummins.
Just sheer pace.
Cummins come on leaps and bounds. What was it? I think he had something like 4 years between his test caps or something. And he's come back absolutely firing
That's
again.
what I'm scared England. I'm scared. I'm not losing sleep over it, but that's what I think. That's what I think England. I'm worried with England about their development of their quick bowlers. I think obviously Joffre's came through.
They're killing Joffre.
Wokesy, they're using Joffre too much, but like you look at Jimmy Anderson, you look at Stuart Broad, as much as
they're servants of English
heroes of mine.
They should both be knighted.
Of course they should.
Silly.
When are they going to leave? When are they going to retire?
Because as soon as they do, then that's it.
Jimmy Anderson gets injured every other week.
At the moment, yeah, but he had a career when he didn't.
Yeah, true.
He got 600 Test wickets. How for a fast bowler?
Ridiculous, man.
And I think I saw a stat and he got it. I think he's
Absolute
the second quickest in terms of the amount of balls bowled.
No, yeah.
To get it, and that's along with Shane Warne, Muralithian, Anil Kumble. Kumble, I think it's pronounced it, but it's written Kumble. And it just says wonders about him because I saw him when he had blonde highlights. I was watching some highlights when he burst onto the scene and he got a 5 against Zimbabwe, and I thought, he's all right.
Sick, man.
200 Test wickets.
Yeah, he bang average.
200. Yeah. Oh, that's gone out. That's
finished his career.
He shouldn't though. He's like Lewis. He gets better with age.
F1.
Such an idiot.
Right, I'm gonna bring in the last sport of today, and I think we'll close it after this. We've been going
cold.
I'm very cold. I've got no more tea left. I've finished it about.
That's the reason you're going.
I finished it about 40 minutes ago. I'm really cold.
You want another cup of tea?
Right, let's get this out of the way. If they're still with us, if they're still with us,
if you're still with us, you've got some resilience.
The funny thing is, right, you'll have to on the YouTube video, you'll have to cut it out into sections because we've got literally the biggest sport in the world.
You meant to tell me this off camera.
Well, still, we'll talk about it now. But we've got the biggest sport in the world
at the back
of our podcast. Well, that's sweet.
We should have planned it better.
Oh, yeah, it is what it is. Right, football team.
Or we make them wait. No. Make them wait for the good stuff.
No, absolutely not. I want to talk about football.
Go on.
Right, because I could talk about football for ages.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I want to hear your top 4 this season and why for 4 teams, and then I'll say mine, and then we'll cut off.
Top 4. Is that what we're going to do with football? Is that it?
Yeah, and we'll leave the football talk for our next episode, because I think if we get it out now, then we'll struggle to think of new things, because we're not really original.
No, we're really not.
Just to get
top 4.
Just to get this out of the way.
Does it have to be in particular order? Does it have to be?
Suspense. 4, 3, 2, 1. But
Someone's
just to get
listening
biases out of the way,
Yeah.
because I know that even if some of our mates are still listening to this, which they're probably not, I'm a massive...
No, our mates will only be listening to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone that's not has turned off. Our mates are just listening to this bit because they're like, but they're just making fools of themselves.
We need to make fun of them more.
But also, not going to be great first time. Let's be honest.
No, of course.
We're going to have to ease into it.
It's fun, man. I've enjoyed it.
We're not going to be Joe Rogan, True Joy, straight away. We're going to be more Jack Mate's Happy Hour. That's a violation. Jack's great.
Right, yeah, well, right. Bias is out the way, right. I'm a Liverpool fan. Massive Liverpool fan.
If you hadn't made that clear.
Love the team, yes. You, on the other hand, who knows?
We'll leave that a mystery.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
We'll leave that a mystery, and then if they can guess, we'll do something here. Most YouTubers do.
Top comment.
Comment below what fan you think I am.
What team you support?
What team I support? Well, say I do.
And it's not Liverpool, unfortunately.
It's not Liverpool, but it's nothing below Premier League level. So it's in the Premier League.
Yes.
And I'll give you one clue. Ready? A big clue. It's not Aston Villa.
It's not Aston Villa.
Not Aston Villa.
Sorry, I know, because I'm going to get Grealish slander. Okay.
You are.
Anyway,
you get it tonight anyway on Xbox.
Top 4, go.
Top 4. 4th. Man United. And yeah, I think United have
second in the league right now.
Yeah, Man United have improved, and it's great to see. Paul Pogba should not be at the club. You can't slag off your club who pay your wages, and the fans as well. United, you're a Liverpool fan. United have got some of the best fans in the world. They've got the most by far.
Oh yeah.
Like there'll be a random photo taken in Africa, and there'll be a little lad or a little girl in the United shirt. Amazing how it gets that far.
Yeah.
United have had a bad few years.
Bad
is an understatement.
Bad for you, I would say bad. They've had an awful
since Fergie.
Since Fergie, they've been
since
awful.
Fergie. They had a season with Mourinho where it was second. That was top season, to be fair.
But no stability at all.
No stability, and I still think Ole's proved himself more, but they'll get top 4 because Bruno is the best player in the league. On form.
Yeah, thanks.
On form, he's the best player in the league.
That's a comment. Right, we'll save that.
We'll save that.
We'll save the best players in the league.
Another Instagram
yeah.
stuff that's got to come
See,
out.
this is class. This is class. We're setting ourselves up.
Yeah. Bruno's the top player in the league on form. So they'll be 4th. I think Spurs will be 3rd.
Yeah. Okay. Because I see why
it's
you
a
said
toss-up
that.
between
I'll
second and
save
fourth.
I'll save my opinions for.
Yeah, save them for after. So we'll do
yeah.
mine first. I think Tottenham, Son and Kane are together. They're just a beautiful couple, aren't they?
My
together.
fantasy team is thanking them.
Yeah, I'm relying on them.
God bless them, my fantasy team.
I think I've got Kane on the bench at the moment. I don't know why, because he was injured. But anyway, so Spurs will be 3rd. I think City will get 2nd. And I think that because Liverpool and City are a level above. I think Spurs are good. Liverpool is still a level above. They've had Sam Allardyce did a job on him, and I'm going to take great pleasure in telling you that.
Damn it.
But
Damn it.
Sam, what about Sam?
Big Sam.
Big Sam, ex-England manager, for 3 hours or?
Did a shift for 2 days.
Yeah, fair play to him.
And then
still better than Gareth Southgate.
City, they've had an awful start, to be honest.
They've had a rubbish start, but I think Kevin's the best player in the league, not on form.
Because he's been poor on form.
He's just the best player in the league, along with.
Yes.
I don't want to say this to him.
Yeah.
Mohamed Salah, along with Mohamed Salah, they're the 2 best.
Thank you.
No, he's not with it.
Not at the moment. Anyway.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Had a lucky few years. So City will get 2nd, and I'm going to go for a curveball at the top. I'm going to go Chelsea.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm going Liverpool.
I
Liverpool with
was
the lead, yet again.
I was about to open the door, smoke home, and leave, bro.
Mate, it'll be warmer outside, to be fair. It's getting freezing in here. There'll be parts of this where I'll be looking through and I'll be going, I'm shivering there.
You can see the
steam coming off me.
bro.
Oh, that's really bad. We haven't discussed. We'll leave the rugby talk.
Yeah.
We'll leave that for another day. So
I didn't mean to miss
I've
out
said-
rugby, but we've had this. What I assume this is.
There's no rugby on. There's no rugby on.
Yeah, true. We'll say.
I've said mine. What are you going for? Top 4.
Where to start? Number 4.
Say that again.
Yeah, sorry. Number 4, and I'm gonna get so much slander for this, but I can't think of another team because every team has been poor currently. I reckon Ancelotti will do a job with Everton to come fourth. I reckon.
I'd have Everton 5th. I don't think you can talk about Everton in the top 4. Same way as you can't talk about Spurs for the title.
I haven't been keeping up with Everton as recent, and I know they're not doing well, but I know that Calvert-Lewin's backfiring again. And if you get Calvert-Lewin to keep up the form they had at the start of the season, he can carry their team. I think with James coming back, I think with all the players they've got, I hate Pickford. With a passion. Rest in peace, Van Dijk.
Why is that, though?
What do you mean, why is that? He's killed
the best keeper England have got, and you're English. You should be rooting for him.
He's killed my favourite player that Liverpool have had within the past 5 years.
Is that... I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to segue here. Because we're on about top 4. I'm going to segue here, but I'm going to say, why is he your favourite player because of him actually as a player, or is it because of his impact that he's had on Liverpool?
Both. I idolise him.
Yeah.
He is...
As a centre-back yourself...
He could play anywhere.
Yeah.
As a failed...
Well, he could play anywhere but striker. Actually, no, he's heading.
He's done a job with Netherlands.
Mate,
you played
can you
for
imagine him up top with Peter Crouch, Rory Delap,
joke.
right back,
Absolute joke.
long throw-ins. Tony Pulis would have had an absolute... he would have been all over that.
Unbelievable.
He would have been brilliant. But so top 4, you were saying you hate Pickford, but you don't think Everton are going to be top 4.
Ancelotti has the skills to... I mean, Ancelotti's outplayed Klopp at some points, so I think he's got the ability to do it, even though Klopp's the best.
He outplayed him when you drew.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's debatable.
Well,
because that goal was not offside.
Well, we should have beaten, but like I'm not going to cry about that now.
You cried about it at the time.
Well, yeah, Ancelotti's got the skills to be a top 4 manager, shown by his times at all the clubs.
He's above being a top 4 manager.
Yeah,
he's Champions League winner, isn't he?
He's elite. Yeah, true.
He's a top manager. So you've got Everton 4.
Everton 4. I'm going Tottenham 3. Tottenham 3rd, which I know was what you said. But I got some slander from, I know we're going personal here, I got some slander from the boys for saying what my top 4 was. And I think that Spurs, this could bite me. This could come back to really hurt me when I watch this back. I don't think Tottenham they don't have the depth yet to become a real title challenge team yet. Kane and Son are brilliant. Mourinho is brilliant. The way that he's getting players like Eric Dyer to defend.
How do you get Eric Dyer to do anything?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. They have the capabilities of it, but they need to reinvest. They need to play that system for more than a year because they've totally changed their system with Kane. He's almost redone what Klopp's done in previous years in like 2017-18, where Bobby Firmino was literally playing as a centre back. He came that deep. Yeah. Just fitting in the false 9.
When Bobby Firmino was rated.
He's right anyway.
No. Yes, you can have a striker in that system. You can have a striker who doesn't score, but even so,
Kane has such a better ability than Firmino.
Yeah,
just with his goal scoring.
Kane's a goal scorer. I think ability-wise, I don't know. Kane's not a brilliant footballer when you look at it.
Bobby Firmino's a brilliant footballer. He just doesn't have the killer instinct like Kane does.
Kane is. You give him a sniff.
Kane's a reptile, bro.
You give Kane an inch, he takes a mile.
Exactly.
Firmino, you give him an inch, he takes a centimetre. That's the kind of levels we're on about here.
When he won the Champions League, he was pretty alright.
That's a proper Scouse thing. You go all high pitched.
Well, yeah.
So you've got Tottenham. You've got Tottenham 3rd.
Tottenham 3rd. City miss out.
Do they?
City miss out. Guardiola's a fraud.
So I'm guessing.
I really wish.
Can I guess your top 2 then?
The thing is, right, City missed out. I really wish we could expand this, but I know we need to cut this because if we go an hour and a half, then no one's watching.
Well, we'll save an hour and a half when we've got some.
Yeah,
we'll save, and when we're not in COVID, and this is all a put together job where we're just doing something because
we like it.
Bored. And it's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun times. We'll get a few out.
Yeah, of course. I think I'm just gonna leave this out there. Yeah. Guardiola's a fraud.
Oh,
I'm just gonna leave it
that's a
out
big
there.
statement.
Like, at the moment, he's
That's a big
done good
statement.
jobs, but he's been supported by the money around him, and I reckon anyone could do half a decent job with the money he's been given. But he's a good manager. He's got the abilities, but he's not a mastermind. Ever since Arteta left, he's been bang average. So that's the support side of it.
Well, yeah,
is gone.
That's where I think he lacks. He's a very, very good tactical coach.
Rational manager.
He's extremely mathematical. In
Facts
his
over
approach.
feelings.
Yeah. Whereas Klopp is very good. He's a Bobby Robson. He's a man manager.
Yeah,
he's a man manager. Robbie Robson wasn't a brilliant technical coach.
No.
But man management, the way you didn't need to man manage that Newcastle side. I know we've gone on a segue again.
Dude.
but Robbie Robson didn't need to manage in terms of coaching. He just needed to make sure they felt like they were loved. And look at Shearer under Bobby Robson. The controversial, the best striker the Prem's ever seen when he was like that.
No salaries in the Premier League. Kidding. Anyway.
Right.
Sorry, yeah. So
He's not a striker.
You've got that spot on with players want to play for Klopp.
So we still haven't discussed your second.
Well, second is Man United, and that really hurts me to say that.
I know that would literally
Really
pains you. I can see it.
I can see Spurs and Man United flip flopping between who comes second, who comes third, but if Bruno stays fit, Cavani gets into somewhat of the form he's been playing at PSG and all the other clubs.
He's done well for you.
Rashford's a great player. He just needs to hit his spell of form.
And not just a great player, an extremely good man.
I don't need to say more things about Marcus
extremely
Rashford.
good
He's
man.
brilliant. Rivalries aside, Marcus Rashford is an amazing guy.
Yeah.
And I reckon they just they forget their defence. Forget their defence because it's a shambles.
Yeah.
Maguire's a shambles.
Yeah, but so City's. That's where how can you spend 400 million on a defence and still be bad?
Well, because Guardiola, anyway.
Guardiola. He's not a defensive manager. Where I think he's probably a worse defensive manager than Marco Bielsa. And Bielsa is.
Yeah.
Well, we all saw what happened against United.
Yeah.
United opened them up.
Yeah, exactly.
That is simple as that.
So did Liverpool, mate. 4-3 against Leeds. It's a great game.
It was a great game. It's probably it was the opening game, wasn't it? Best opening game I've watched.
Yeah, brilliant.
You don't see games like that anymore.
It's all
Football's still on too money, so they're all trying to they're playing Jose Mourinho football or Sam Allardyce football, which I love Sam because he's an Englishman, and I know that sounds really bad, but
boring.
He's a proper English manager.
It kills the excitement out of football, especially with no fans. You can't support Sam Allardyce.
Yes, and then I'm guessing you've gone Liverpool top.
Of course, I have best team in the world, mate. No,
best
kidding.
team in the world.
Well, I'm not kidding, but that's a debate.
We've got so many debates. Everyone.
We've got so many debates to go on. I'm obviously going to think.
But we save that for another podcast.
I'm just coming off this podcast after we've just drawn 1-1 to West Brom. So
is that what you check your phone for?
No. I was just looking at the time, but I knew because it was last game. We literally drew. We drew 1-0.
Sam Allardyce's first game.
We drew 1-0 to West Brom. That I would have if we started this cup. Yeah, so if we came off this podcast, fresh after us beating Crystal Palace 7-0, with 6 out of 7 of those goals being ridiculous goals. Even John Henderson was scoring screams.
Mate, I had no goal. I saw it and I went, oh no.
Oh dear.
I knew that night.
Ben's gonna have.
We have to touch on this as well quickly, but afterwards. But I looked at John Henderson's goal and I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to go on Xbox afterwards, and I'm gonna have to.
You're gonna have to listen to
this. Just get. And I did. I withstood it. I took a bit of nibble. To be fair.
Oh, yeah.
But not being biased. But anyway, I think that's a perfect way to end the podcast. Perfect time because I've just finished my brew. I've managed to drink a brew over what is probably an hour and a few minutes.
We've done a shift there.
We've done a shift, mate. It's been cold. COVID. I'll answer back afterwards. I'll answer back. We'll put. I was about to say we'll put a video on the second channel, but I'm actually not.
There's no second channel.
There's not. No, there's really not. But anyway, if you've got to this point, you're a saint. You really.
I don't know how you've done that, but
if you
thanks,
have,
guys.
if you have, then we owe you a lot, realistically. And
we hope you enjoyed it anyway.
Well, enjoyed's a bit of a big. No one's going to.
I hope you've enjoyed it.
Hope.
And if you didn't, watch us more, please.
We need the views. No, thank you very much for watching or listening. We've acted like we've been
hopefully
on YouTube. We'll try and get it on Spotify. We don't know yet.
We'll try.
We'll do our best.
Touch wood, everything's gone.
Touch wood, it's fake wood, but anyway.
It's technically. Everything's gone well with recording, but thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in, and well, we'll see you on the next one.
See you later.